So I don't know if you want to get into your profession or not, but do you think that your time in college has applied to anything you do in your daily work? Like what percentage would you put on what you learned in college being applicable to what you do day to day?
10.
Yeah.
10%.
10% is what I would say before you even said anything. 10% is what I would say.
10%.
And I think that that's kind of like a disservice society is doing right now is you hated communications because you saw a large percentage, 90% potentially, of a job that isn't what it's actually like when you're there, right?
Yep.
And I think that that's very frustrating that like we spend so much time, doing general studies or whatever else, or stuff that has nothing to do with the job itself. And I am a big believer that most people can do any job if they are introduced to it and learn the day-to-days, because ultimately, right, you are doing very simple tasks just that are just compiled up. Your clicks are still just clicks at the end of the day, right? Like, but do you think that, I don't know, how much did you spend on your degrees in total, if you're comfortable sharing that?
GI Bill.
Yeah,
I spent 6 years of my life earning that. So
yeah, but that's I mean, like that's I mean, I don't know exactly what your income level is from, but like for me, like if I had to go to college and I had to pay off all those loans without the GI Bill,
good luck.
How would I ever justify switching careers?
Correct.
Like, how is that possible?
Yep.
It is like, so what I get into, if I go and I get like a sociology degree or something, because I want to, be a benefit to society or whatever else. And then I realize that that's not the degree path that I should have went into when I see, potentially I'm better at, computer science or statistics or some obscure thing that you wouldn't even know existed, like flying drones until after you get into it. It's
kind of like one thing led you into another experience that you're like, oh yeah, I like this way more, like flying drones and stuff. It's like I went to college for this, but I love flying drones now because this part of my college kind of introduced me into that world. But now I really love it. What do I do?
Yeah, so it's like, so then you have to kind of like lose those 2 years of your associate's degree or whatever else just to get into another path where, half of those credits don't do anything, but the college doesn't care, right? Because they're still making their money off of you, right? And they're padding all these other curriculums that wouldn't exist unless, you force, kids effectively to go into these other programs. But so the core of the question, is it a scam? And if it is so, how do we kind of fix society to make it no longer a scam?
Man, a scam. I would say some degrees are. The degrees that I deem not a scam would probably be your STEM degrees, because those are, you benefit society in some way, shape, or form. Plus, it's a pretty decent income within STEM degrees.
Right.
But man, how do we get away from that? I don't think we do. We're too far in the rabbit hole on that one.
Hey,
but what I would suggest is kind of like an internship. I would say try to do an internship of some sort, even if you don't have any sort of degree or you're in a degree plan for school. If you like engineering, see if there's an engineering firm nearby and just see if the president or the owner of the company or whoever is cool with you just kind of sitting in shadowing, see if that's something you might be interested in before you go and pay an institution for 4 years of teaching you.
And you're right. I think that should be the method to go about it. But I think if you're physically in college, right, you're going for like aerospace engineering, and it's a very competitive field, right? And you have to have a high GPA.
Yep.
You have to show that you were in extracurricular activities that you've gone to and that you were a leadership role in those extracurricular activities. And then you also have to show that you've done internships over the summer or whatever your downtime is to show that you're being active, that you have experience in the field. Some people don't get that opportunity to have the time to go and do internships and go and, make sure they have perfect grades. Sometimes them passing is equivalent to somebody who is getting, a 3.7 or 8 GPA because they have to go and work at Wendy's or McDonald's after they're done going to class, right? And then they lose that time that they could be spending learning.
Kind of perfect their, I'll say art, perfect their art.
So I like, to me, being a minority, I feel like it very much separates the classes of what people can reach what professions, because if you want to become an aerospace engineer, you have to have the financial security to go to college.
Yes.
You can't just go and get these degrees. And then like, if you're not like a cut above the rest, if you're just not an anomaly.
Like you graduated with a 3.5, so does everybody in aerospace engineer.
Yeah.
You got to graduate like 3.7 or up to really set yourself apart. And then on top of that, maybe national accolades for your academic achievements. You in that kind of field, you have to really set yourself apart, which internship again. Fantastic.
Yeah. I mean, like, I would love it if society kind of just worked off that premise, right? Like they see you work in the space or whatever else, and they see your aptitude for it or your passion for it. And then they hire you based off of that rather than
how much do you know?
How much time did you spend memorizing? That's the other aspect of it, right? Not everybody's brains work the same. So mine, I don't want to handicap myself, but like I don't have the capacity that other people do to just remember arbitrary information, stuff that has nothing to do with anything. But some people are just really good at just remembering.
I couldn't tell you the area of a square, like or I could area of a square, but like an area of a cone, I couldn't tell you that formula. Right. I don't care. I look it up. Yeah, I got Google. You know how your teachers used to say you'll never have a calculator on? Yeah, yes I do. Yes I do. Do you not have a cell phone?
No. So I mean, hopefully technology kind of bridges that gap more, right? To where stuff that requires pen and paper isn't necessary anymore, right? And what really comes down to is your passion for it, which I think should be the most important factor when you get a job, and then 2, your aptitude for it.
Which is, it's weird to say too, because most people coming out of high school don't know what their passion is. They're just going to college because they're told to, or that's how you get ahead in life. Go to college. You don't have to. You can wait a couple years. You don't have to go out of high school. You don't have to go directly into school. Which, I mean, I did 1 year directly out of high school, and then that was it. But yeah, I feel like take time. If you're gonna use your income of whatever, how much you make, or you're gonna take out government loans to pay for school, take your time to figure out really what you want to do. YouTube's a great tool. It's fantastic. YouTube University, great tool.
What if they started selling degrees for YouTube?
They start selling degrees. It comes in like you hit like a 10 million subscriber. It comes in like the play button.
It's just like watch time.
You've watched it. Your credit hours exceed your watch times. Congratulations.